So this is the latest Apex EDC Tool Organizer L, or for the 4.5-inch version. This is the version 2. Now, compared to the very original Apex EDC Tool Organizer Pocket Slip, and then I developed this into a sort of one with a clip for belt side mount. So this is like over a year ago. And then eventually it evolved to something. This is what I was currently using. This is the 1.5 version. And with this new clip of sorts that accommodates 5-inch. And a new flashlight mounting slot here that accommodates bigger diameter type of flashlights. So this is unused, and this is the version 2 now, in which case it functions practically the same as previous designs, which had a belt clip. But now I'm leaning towards this sort of design that has these angles, and really it's all about updating also the dimensions so that it accommodates more universal types of multi-tools. And of course now it fits this flat type or bar type of flashlight, like the Olight Arcfeld Ultra, the one I have here. So I've added the sort of like this raise notch that accommodates this to raise this Arcfeld a bit higher. But of course, it does accommodate a normal type of flashlight, like this is Warrior Nano, for example, that you can raise it up. Okay, so you can still operate this. Okay, this is in the reversed version clip. It has this special mount so that the light comes out here instead. So you could mount it here on the raised notch, and you can mount it the regular way from previous design. Go through like that, so it sits lower and it still fits. So you can use a sort of regular type of round cylindrical flashlight, but this Ultra is something that I was really interested. So you could still operate the Ultra button controls here on the outside, instead of the, if I did not do this, then therefore it would be on this side, and this is not something that we want. We don't want, actually. So I have developed this design, so I had to really extend this loop circumference to be bigger, and this really is the secret sauce to this. It's raised up, and it does accommodate this to be sit a bit higher than before. Now, another new thing that I have implemented here on version 2 is this loop that attaches the male part of this snap for the main multi-tool compartment. Now, this is something that I sort of like thought of, like it could be very universal for anything, like let's say this, you want to slip in your car fob of sorts with a clip, or something like this with this quick detachment for something, or like hooks like this. For example, this is a coin purse of some sorts for emergency cash, so you could hook it over into this loop, and it just hangs like this when you mount this on your belt. So this is what something that you could, well, it's an example. So really, I'm trying to develop some sort of a attachment of sorts, or designing a car fob case that integrates here. But this is for a future design or sorts. And the front pocket here still accommodates an AirTag, like so. If you don't want this to be, if you misplace this, of course, this is easily something that you can find this easily with your iPhone. And there is, of course, the improved pen slot here for any type of mini pen. This particular one is, of course, is my Lamy Pico pen, the one that extends for to lengthen and for convenient writing. But it fits here. Now this is held, of course, by tension because the Pico pen does not have any clips. So the main compartment here accommodates things like this Victorinox Spirit MXBS. So this one has these notches here for one-hand operation. The other one, of course, is this special saw of sorts. And really, the way I mount this in is this, because if you are holding this, I mean, it's on your hip. Now your thumb needs to be on, when you take it out, it's here, so that when you bring this out, it's your thumb is in the nearest position for the ninth notch here, or operation. So this is the most convenient position that I have. And then, of course, this is out of the way from the inside. These notches of or these extensions of these tools, this particular tool, are not in the way, so that this is much easier on the outside here. And of course, this is my key organizer. This is by Travax, and it's really something that is here that I've designed. And this is, of course, pushes through here. Now behind this, of course, there's a grommet hole for attaching some sort of like a pull tab right here. The color combination is actually inspired by this paracord color combination or design. This is by Atwood, and they call it the Blitz color combination, with an orange combination with greens, and probably that's one color is black. So I sort of like took that sort of inspiration for this color combination. So this green, which is actually designated as gray by Pueblo, the brand, Italian brand. So this is made of Pueblo leather, which is sort of like a matte finish, which is marbled texture all around. And yeah, this is, of course, the Nero, or black color. And the orange thread that I'm using here is flat, sort of 1.8 millimeters to be more exact. You could see this is a highlight. It's something close to the orange that I have here, but in practical sense, when I sort of lit this with UV lights, right? So this is what it comes out as. So there's a bit of a difference there, slight difference, where this one, the linear pull, this orange is a bit more brighter than this. Okay, and you can see here in the dark, while this is the light is off, you could see that there is, of course, the tritium vial slot here in the front. This light's a whole lot brighter than the usual. Okay, here it's a bit dim, but when you hit it with UV light, you could see it brighter, and you could see this one. The threads are actually glowing against UV light, especially this nice pull tab here, made of, and of course the orange, neon orange, really is lit up. So you can see this really easily with UV light. If, for example, you sort of drop this in the dark, and of course the tritium would be glowing. Okay, tritium is really a vial of hydrogen, uh, which is radioactive, and it's not dangerous because it's used on watches and sites. And we could see that I have improved also the design in terms of reinforcements. Here I've used 7.1 millimeter Chicago screws to secure these things. These are carried from the design of the XL, which I started implementing these Chicago screws. Mainly these are to bind belts, for example, on the hardware for securing loops or for belts. But this one I sourced from Buckle Guy. They're called Mini. I guess this is quite smaller than the regular. Okay, the regular type of Chicago screws here is 11 millimeters in diameter, which I used here to secure this clip. So again, this clip accommodates like a 550 millimeter type of width of belt, which is 2 inches. And you can see that the Chicago screw is really that insurance that this will last for years and years without tearing or the the threads failing in one at one point. So you can see here, this is without Chicago screws. You could start seeing that gap being because it's I think it's stretching out the polyester thread here, which is something that bothered me when I was looking at this, and then I see this. So these Chicago screws really would help maintain this to last longer. Another change that I've made is that this one I shaped this strap to have this three-dimensional uh, shape. So probably I'll add in something like similar to here to cover this a bit more. And really, it's a nice touch here that even this one. Okay, so although I need to exaggerate this for a future sort of future version, well, I just develop this as I go along. So probably I need to also cover this area of sorts now, just to cover that. And at the back, of course, there is an extra um, uh, pocket here, in which case I use this for a nail clipper of sorts, or nail cutter. Okay. It's a bit difficult. It's tight a bit. So let's not just take it out anymore. Yeah, so basically this is the update for this L version, or the 4.5-inch version. For those who are curious, of course, there is the 5.5 version, or the XL, that would carry more stuff. So this is the latest one that I've had. I mean, I've already placed some sort of a hook here for more better function. This is the 5.5-inch has 2 clips for more stability because it carries more stuff and it's heavier. But for those who are curious, of course, I could take out my Spirit MX-BS and something similar to Leatherman Arc. You can actually, this is the free P2 modified. Okay, so I've modified this a bit more. The arc is slightly thicker because it has another layer of deploy deployable type of one-handed layer of tools. But basically, it's the size, exact size of a Leatherman arc, and you can see it fits. So those who are curious if this fits an arc. And other tools that are similarly, and this is slightly even bigger, which is the Roxxon Flex, something that I've been carrying, and really I've de-knifed this, and it's all not going to be considered as a weapon. So this is all just tools, nothing sharp, and you could push that in, and it's a bit tight, but yeah. But you have to really push this in when you first time start. If this is freshly made, everything's stiff. Now it's molding to tools. Okay, so the leather, which is a 2.2 millimeter thick, sort of or for those who are in the Imperial, this is a 5-ounce leather thickness. So it's really thick. I did not skive this material or have it thinned, so that there's enough material and it should last quite a long time. But this is what it looks like, right? All the edges are burnished. I had some stamping done here. And then there's even a branding of sorts, just because I did a part which I never, a leather part which I never used, so I made use of that. You could see my logo here, BAD design. And once again, you could see that the tritium is one of those things that I really like in these tool organizers, so they can find them in the dark. Of course, I have other colors. This one is in green. This one is yellow. So yeah, that's it then. This is the overview of the version 2 of the Apex EDC Tool Organizer L size. So let me know, what do you think? What else should I be implementing, or which part do you think I should improve on? What are your requirements, if ever? It's always interesting that, if some of my watchers did buy a few of my copies of the what I have, but it's always interesting because each one of us have a different set of requirements for their EDC needs or what tools they carry. And this is the updated results of all the things that I want and what they need also. At the same time, some problems like the Arcfeld Ultra was really long. One person wanted that requirement, and this is the solution to that exact accommodation for this. long flashlight, which is about 120 millimeters length. But anyway, I guess this ends this video. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next.